Thunder. It really reminds me of the thunderous footsteps of one of my friends. Maybe you would call him a friend. I'm not really sure where we left it, actually, and I'm not eager to find out. Anyways, he was a giant dwarf. I'm, once again, no clue which way it's supposed to go. But anyways, this is the meal that I used to satiate him. After exchanging a few short pleasantries and agreeing on a price for his help, a hearty meal full of potatoes, Armdir and I headed off to Oln Hollow. Now, Oln Hollow was known for being a favorite hideout for all sorts of bandits. Trees upon trees and tons of hollows to hide in. If that bandit was anywhere, they were probably here. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, check out our last episode on healing bread. That should catch you up pretty nicely. Now, of course, while we were trouncing around through the woods, I had to ask him how the whole giant dwarf thing works. And according to him, it just does. Apparently all the strength of a dwarf with most of the height of a giant. And he just kind of left it there. As I was about to ask him about how he knew Doma, he stopped me in my tracks and told me to shut up. And he had a weird look on his face. Apparently, we had finally stumbled upon a bandit. Now, whether it was my bandit or not was yet to be seen. I was pretty much ready to rush the camp as soon as we found it. Armdir, on the other hand, with his years of experience as a mercenary, likes to be a little bit more careful. After a quick look, I couldn't tell if it was actually my bandit or not, but it was definitely my stuff in that camp. Instead of letting me rush into imminent danger, Armdir instead held me down and told me that we needed to wait until sundown. Or until she fell asleep. I was impatient to say the least. And God bless Armdir for not killing me while we waited.
No.
What is she doing?
I don't know.
It wasn't till later that we found out. She just happened to stumble across this camp. Apparently it was a bandit's horde and they were out pillaging or something. I don't know, but she was enjoying herself. This girl would not go to sleep, I swear. It was like she had 10 cups of coffee or something. Eventually, nightfall finally came, and I might have succumbed to some slumber. Anyway, Armdir woke me up and told me it was finally time for some action. He slunk stealthily through the moonlit woods, surprisingly quiet and agile for a giant dwarf. And I stayed behind and watched as it all unfolded. Unfortunately, he wasn't as quiet as he had hoped and alerted her. And turns out, she had some spell scrolls. Thankfully, Armdir is pretty sturdy and was able to take a few hits while I snuck up and landed the final blow on her. As I reveled in our victory, Armdir's stomach was talking a little bit louder to him, and he reminded me about our agreement.
So much for potatoes.
Huh?
We were supposed to get potatoes.
Oh, that's right. There we go. Let's get you your potatoes. Pardon me. Excuse me. So, before we get started, like and subscribe. It really helps us out. And now, let's get into Bangers and Smash. All right, so before we do any other prep, we got to get our potatoes roasting. These are going to roast for about 40 minutes, just until they're nice and tender. And then while they're doing that, we can prep everything else. Okay, so while that roasts off, we can start prepping our leeks. First things first, we want to take the first few layers off of these. So you can tell they're not the cleanest things in the world. So take 1, 2, 3, that should be good. Then we want to take the stems off, like that. Take the bottom off, right about there. Do the same thing for this guy. We already took the very edges off. Cut those top leaves off. Cut the bottom off. And now we want to go lengthwise across it. Make sure we go all the way through. And we want to cut these into half moons. So just about inch wide pieces going down. And as we get them cut, we want to throw them into some water that we've got over here to rinse them out, because they naturally grow in very grainy soil, like sandy. So it gets a lot of that in between the layers. So we throw that in, mix it around, let it sit so everything settles. Then we can go on to our other piece. Cut that in half. All right, now that we've finished that up, throw all this in that water, and then while they sit and get nice and rinsed off, we can start on our parsley. All right, while that rinses off, we can go ahead and get our parsley. We can cut off these long stems, put them off to the side, because we don't need it. All right, so now we bunch it all up and just slowly start going through it. And we'll make a pass a few different times. We just want to get this a nice rough chop just to make sure it moves in and really lets out some of those oils and flavor. That should be it. All right, now that our parsley is all nice, we can take out our leeks and dry them off. So grab a towel, get in there, make sure you kind of mix them up just one more time, make sure that they got all that silt and stuff out from between the layers. Just lay it out. And there is a lot of it, so just do as best as you can, fitting it wherever. Oh yeah, that water is a little dirty, but that's the point. Lay that out. Roll the towel over it. You can always put another towel on top. And then you just want to pat it dry. And then your potatoes should hopefully be just about ready to smash. All right, now that the potatoes should be nice and soft and have been roasting for about 40 minutes in that 450-degree oven, we want to take them out. Usually you want to let them rest for a little bit just to, oh yeah, nice and soft. Just for a minute or two to kind of cool down. And then we're going to smash them. Then throw them back in and start cooking everything off together so all those flavors combine. All right, now that we have taken our potatoes out and we've let them rest for about 10 minutes or so, we want to take the bottom of something and we want to smash them down just to about an inch thick. You don't want to go too hard. There we go. And once these are all done, we're going to throw them in our skillet or baking sheet and we're going to roast them off with some oil and salt and pepper. And then we'll start assembling the rest of the dish. Salt. And especially on potatoes, I really love using the roasted garlic salt from Spice Slayer, which you can find in our link. All right, so we've let those smashed potatoes roast off for a little bit longer. Oh yeah, that's looking nice. So what we're going to do now is we are going to take our leeks as much as we can fit. First, we're going to put them over here. We're going to coat them with a little bit of oil, a little bit of salt and pepper. Then we're going to put them in half of the pan. Okay, so we're going to toss these with some oil, add a little bit of salt, some pepper, toss them some more, and we're going to put them in half of the pan. All right, so we're going to make a nice little bed of these leeks. Then we're going to throw a couple of our sausages on top of them, so as they cook, those juices leak down onto them and just help really create some nice flavor. And we're going to roast it off for another 8 to 10 minutes. All right, so we've taken the sausages out, we've flipped our potatoes and stirred around our leeks. So now we can add our tomatoes. We're going to throw these on top of our Poh-Ta-Toes. And just like everything we've done so far, we're gonna drizzle a little bit more olive oil over everything just to help it really crisp up, and top it with a little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. And then we're going to roast this for another 8 to 10 minutes and it's ready to eat. All right, now that this has roasted off, we are ready to try this. So before we do, let's be a little civilized. We're going to toss a little bit of parsley on top, make it look all pretty. All right, let's dive in. Let's get some sausage. Get just a little bit off of that. I am nowhere near as big as he is. He was taking these massive bites of everything, and I couldn't see how he was doing it without choking. But he did it. And obviously he ate about 3 times as much as I did. All right. So let's see if we can get a bite with a little bit of everything here. You get so many different flavors going on at once. The sweetness of the tomatoes with that acidity. You get just the heartiness of the potatoes that help fill you up. A lot of that taste of the leek has just gone throughout the entire dish. And who doesn't love a smoked sausage? This is a great meal to feed a crowd or one dwarf giant, giant dwarf, however he prefers it. Anyway, I hope that you all eat well, love others, and God bless. Oh, you're still here. Oh, that's right. You're probably wondering how he ate all of this, huh? I'm sure it comes as no surprise that he ate all of it and more than I could ever thought. In fact, he ate himself into a coma.
It's a blade from Shadowfell. If you cut yourself with it, you wish you never lived.
That's the best.
Oh! 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 Oh, kill him, Squire! Kill him, Lord!
Yeah,
Kind of like that. That was the idea.
that's not bad at all.
Action 2. Action 3.
Oh! Okay.
All right.
All right,
everybody.
All right, everyone.
Told him he needs better locks. Wes? Where you at, buddy? I brought you a sack of potatoes. Wes? It's a nice blade.